Hello. I'm gonna let a few folks join in on here, and I've got some graphics. We're gonna kind of look at what's happening right now and then what is going to happen for the rest of the day. You go to the iPad. Alrighty. That phone call's gonna have to wait. Time is 9:49 right now. We are still looking at widespread heavy precipitation. Some spots just seeing a cold rain. Some spots are seeing more of that frozen precipitation. So I'll turn y'all around and we can look at radar together. So you can see that freezing line from really Iuka through Tupelo, Ackerman, down towards Italic County. Now, I'll kind of overlay that freeze line on there. That black line, everywhere here is below freezing. Everywhere in our northwestern counties, below freezing, above freezing, below freezing. I don't know if I said that right the first time. Even if your ground temperatures or your air temperature is above freezing or really right at freezing, the elevated surfaces, trees, power lines are still in the 20s. I think last time I looked at the temperature of those. So they're still continuing to accumulate ice along those. And this is very heavy precipitation. Luckily, the lightning thunder has tapered off, but for places still Grenada, Coffeyville, Calhoun County, Oxford, Boonville, Ripley, New Albany, Corinth, still seeing very icy roads. Now, looking at what could happen on models as we are heading into the rest of your morning and into the afternoon. Let it load in. All right, this is kind of what's happening right now. And that's pretty much lined up accurately where is above freezing versus below freezing. That line starts to push out to the east. So getting closer to Alabama as colder air is going to move in, and this back line of this system tries to move through the area. Now, we are still seeing pretty widespread there. 11 o'clock, that looks to start to taper off closer to 12, and around 1 o'clock, almost completely out of the area. Now, we're still seeing a few patchy areas, but it's not quite as widespread. Now, I do want to take a look at the power outage map. Let me see if that's still connected. I'm going to update on that. Yes, there's the power outage map. And I actually can show that right here. Not all of the power companies report to this. If I can get this done right. Okay. Not all of the power companies report on this. I know Tupelo does not, but there is over 141,000 people in the state without power. I know a lot of power companies are out working in this, and it is difficult to work in because we're continuing to see that heavy precipitation coming down. Tupelo right now, there is almost 14,000 folks in the state without power, or in that county without power. Sorry. Union County is only reporting about 3,000. They may not have all of their customers tracked. Yeah, because it only has 4,374 tracked. Alcorn County, about 13,000 in the county there without power. Pontotoc doesn't track as many people. Lafayette County, over 20,000 folks without power. In Starkville or in Oktibbeha County, there is about 1,500 people without power. Now, if you've just tuned in, I am going to show this back at radar to what's happening right now. If it loads, yes. So in Starkville is right above freezing. So a cold rain. Now temperatures will drop as we head through the overnight, and tomorrow morning's low is close to the low teens, some maybe even single digits. So whatever moisture, whatever water is left out on the roads will freeze, especially bridges, overpasses. We've already seen that a lot. Let me see if I can actually bring up some of those MDOT traffic cameras and we can look at a few of those. Nope, I cannot. That's not going to work. If you did not watch my previous update, the station right now is not on the air. Engineers are here working on it. Basically, the generator came on but didn't turn everything on. So we were trying to figure out a way to get back on the air. Hopefully, we will be able to live stream something later today, but right now, make sure to keep up with us on Facebook. That's where we're going to do a lot of updates for you. But right now, widespread wintry precipitation, freezing rain mostly, for those north and western counties. And then we are looking at rainfall closer to that Mississippi-Alabama state line. Temperatures drop through the overnight, and that's going to make everything freeze again if it's not already frozen, those roads. We've seen and heard multiple reports of trees down, power lines down. We've gotten a lot of pictures in from y'all. Thank you so much for those pictures. You might not get a response back, but we really do appreciate that. Drake, how many power outages are in Monroe County? Unfortunately, Monroe County EPA does not report to that website, and they don't have their own outage map. I can see how many that outage map says, but I know Monroe County doesn't report to that. I'm trying to get it to load. All right. Monroe County doesn't have any people without power. Once again, Monroe County Power, Electric Power does not report to that. I'm trying to pull up some cameras in Oxford. I don't know why though, because they're out without power, so none of these cameras are going to actually be working. Roads are icy, really pretty much northwest of the Natchez Trace, especially bridges, overpasses through parts of Lee County, Chickasaw County, Monroe County. I can kind of show y'all that MDOT website. So all of those counties highlighted in blue have reports of bridges, overpasses with ice on them. Now, if you're just really northwest of Tupelo, pretty much all the roads are iced over, and it's just one big sheet of ice. Lowndes County, not reporting that from MDOT. Lowndes County is mostly just seen a cold rain. Now, if you've just tuned in, temperatures are freezing overnight and into tomorrow morning. So if there is still water left on the bridges, overpasses, roads, that will freeze. So you could see some patchy areas by tomorrow, and that's why this is going to have those lingering effects. Now, there are a lot of folks without power, so you might just be watching me on your phone right now. If you go to your car to maybe warm up, to charge your phone, and it's in a garage, open the garage door so you're not breathing in the fumes from your vehicle, because that can kill folks. It's deadly. If you just tuned in, I am going to give you another look at Storm Track Doppler radar and then Storm Tracker again. We will continue to update you through the day, at least on social media. Right now, here's what it looks like from Tupelo, Houston, down towards Ackerman, Kosciuszko, and north and west. That's where we're seeing that freezing rainfall, that wintry precipitation, and it mainly is just coming down in the way of ice. Now, those south and eastern counties where we're showing more green, just a cold rain. I haven't had many reports, especially from southern Monroe County, Golden Triangle region, down towards Macon, about any kind of freezing roads. Amory, my parents actually live in Amory. I talked to them earlier, and they said pretty much the roads were just wet. But once again, temperatures are going to freeze overnight, so that could lead to a bit more of that widespread icy road conditions. I'm going to switch this over to Storm Tracker so we can take a look at what is going to be happening over the next several hours. That freeze line slowly pushes out to the east, so closer to Alabama. Temperatures will start to drop, and luckily that wintry precipitation starts to stop. Most of that is out of here close to around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We still see very cloudy conditions and temperatures just plummet. I mean, this has Tupelo getting down to about 10 degrees early tomorrow morning. Oxford's down to about 8. So really needing to make sure you are bundling up, staying warm. I know there's a lot of folks without power right now, so that means without heat. And another thing in the station is the studio right now does not have heat. Last time I walked past the thermostat, it said it was 54 degrees in here. So we may be in a few different spots to try to stay warm. So if we do live stream, may not be down here, it may be up the hall, because that unit is actually working. But stay warm, stay safe. I'll do more Facebook Lives through the morning and into the afternoon, really until all this pushes out. But with how many power outages we have, with temperatures not warming up, this will have lingering effects even into next work week. If you have any of those reports, you can send to Facebook. You can put those through the WTVA weather app. You can email those. If you don't, we are getting a lot of those already this morning. If you don't get a response, I'm going to go ahead and thank you right now for sending those in. We appreciate that, for letting us know what is actually happening out there. So stay warm, stay safe. I'll be back on here later.